Hello there. Welcome aboard the USS Vincent. Playing Falcon BMS. I am flying the F-18C Hornet. And the reason I'm flying it today is because got a little bit of polish over at the BMS forums. Completely redone cockpit. I'm not sure if you guys have flown it before. The old cockpit was pretty stale. It didn't have the lighting effects, and it wasn't as clean cut as the one I'm flying now. Also, the external model got a little bit of tweaking. Detail was added to the where those black strips are. Some details there along the wings and the nozzles, even in the exhaust area. Yeah, so the reason why I'm doing the video today is because I wanted to check out the models and also run through the ramp start, a couple other standard carrier ops. And I have here my checklist that I created myself. I'll try to make it available. If you guys want it, edit it, distribute it however you want. It's yours. But, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, first thing, close canopy. I like to turn my battery to override. That's 2 clicks. And I want to turn my radios on first by turning up the volume. Going over here to this GXMIT switch here, middle position. I want to use the upfront controller. Make that. If I was flying with a buddy, I would establish comms by clicking over and telling him I'm ready for engine startup. Turn the left and right generators on. Those don't actually power the generators. Those are just switches to turn on your hard points. From there, I like to turn the pitot auto, bleed air left. If I was flying during night, I would turn the panel lights, floodlights on as required, but I'm not. Turn my radar to operate, laser to arm, and my ANS to ground. Now, the reason why I do this before I even have power on is just a nice flow. I'm flowing down this panel, and I'm going to start my flow on this side also, so I don't forget. So I'm going to put fuel to normal. If you don't do this and you're airborne and you start making aggressive turns, the engine will get starved of fuel and cut off on you. Yeah, so you don't want to do that. With the fuel normal, we can go ahead and crank the engine. Single left click over here, engine crank left. Okay, you hear the engine starting. Okay, we're going to wait for 20%. We're going to go mill power and then hit the throttle detent, which by default is Alt-I. Wait for that. Speed up timer quick. There we go. Get up to 20. Okay, now that we're at 20, throttles to 100%. I'm going to hit Alt-I. While I'm doing this, I'm going to turn on my lights, because right behind the throttle are the light switches. Now that the throttle's moved, I'm going to turn my master arm on, or not master arm, master lights on. Strobe in my position. Don't need my formation lights because it's daylight. Throttle back to idle. Otherwise you'll launch yourself off the ship. Okay, so with my lights on, following the checklist here, I like to go down to my avionics panel here, turn my avionics on. These aren't labeled like they are in the F-16. These are your SMS, FCC, and GPS switches right here. This little triangle. This is your master fuel switch. Don't need to mess with that. So with that on, I like to flow upwards here. Turn my MFDs on. Turn the dead on. Data link and my ILS. Right here is the HUD. I give that 3 clicks. And I like yellow. Seems to be the best color for the backgrounds. I hold Alt, Control, and Shift together, and then I hit C 5 times till it's yellow. Just personal preference. From there, I go all the way down. I turn my RWR and ECM switches. So this is chaff and flare. Turn my audio down just a touch here. Power. Turns on the RWR. And then this button right here, Enable Special. If you don't push this one, you won't get any tone. You won't get the handoff audio. Make sure that's pressed. You don't get an indication that it's on or off, so you just have to listen, make sure you push it. Okay, from there I like to go to my HSI, I turn TACAN on. Let's see here. And from there, I like to go Auto 4, that's personal preference. And now I go to my MFDs, following the checklist, test clear, UTE, your data cartridge, load it. I like to change this to 60, and then go to center. Okay, so the HSD set. Now I set the TACAN to the carrier. Switch kind of works like the same thing in the F-16. This is to go up, this is to go down. This is sequence, okay, and then this is return. So in order to set TACAN, you first have to go return. You hit this menu, and then you want to hit 1. If you're not sure what the menus do, you hit this button here, list. And it lists the corresponding number to the corresponding menu here. I want to go with 1. If I hit 1, I can edit my TACAN channel. 1, 0, enter. I want to make sure it's on band X-ray. If it's not, if you hit 0 and then enter, it changes the band. Go back to X-ray. Now set ILS. Just 4 ones. See the freak chains here. To set my bingo by hitting list 2. I like to change mine to 4,000. The Hornet's a gas guzzler for sure. So set 4,000 first bingo. Next, I like to set my weapons. If I have weapons to warm up or in standby, I like to do that now. Right now I just have a couple of medium ranges and aim 9s here. With the aim 9s I set to cool, since those are my only 2 weapons. I'm there. If you have laser guided munitions and you want to set the laser, it's going to be list 05. You're going to scroll down to right here, and you can just hit 1. You'll see it goes to combat. I'll make sure that gets done. Otherwise, when you go to drop your bombs, the laser will not work. You will miss. So the laser's set. I don't have any other weapons to set up, so I'm going to set up the altimeter by calling tower and requesting QNH.
Hornet 13059.
3059 is the call, so I'm going to change this 3059. You'll notice the altitude is close to 0. That's set. Okay, now I'm going to set the link. The way you do this is by changing this to continuous. This will continuously update the HSD with link information from your flight or package. By default, it's IFF out, I believe, or comm switch left. You'll notice it works by going white background with black letters, and you'll hear a constant beep in the background every few seconds. Okay, and the only way this works is if you also have your INS and nav mode, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. Okay. Next on the checklist here is map gain. This turns on your queuing system. Helmet. Taxi, so I'm going to hit taxi lights. Arm my seat. And engage nose wheel steering. No, there's no problem. I'm just late. Just late. Alright, so at this time, I am ready to taxi. If I was flying 2 or 3, I would let my flight lead know that I'm ready for taxi. And once everyone's ready, chocks out by hitting T8 and request taxi.
Hornet 1-1, ready for departure. Hornet 1-1, expedite departure.
Okay, last thing on the checklist is to ensure the trap is clear. You don't want anybody coming in for a landing while you're trying to taxi. With a quick check right. Make our way to the taxi. To the academy. Oh. Oh, turbo. There we go. Approach it slowly, let it catch you. Okay, that's how you know you're in the cat, when it gives you a quick stop. Alright, so once we're in the cat...
What is your problem? You are disrupting.
Oh, she will not leave me alone. Alright, so calling the cat. Wings to spread. Flaps to half for takeoff. Nose wheel steering disengaged. Select steer 2. Steer point 2. Review standard climb out. So with standard climb out, we're going to do afterburner once we leave the deck. Nose 10 degrees. We're going to go burner till 350 knots. Go mill and steer 2. Let's give it a shot. And burner. Nose up. Gear up. 10 degrees. Approaching 350 knots, go mill. And I'm going to go ahead and engage autopilot. These are the two indicators here. By default I have A, so it's going to hold my attitude. Shift A is going to engage the roll mode, which is steering. So I'm commanding the autopilot to hold at 10 degrees pitch, roll to steer 2. Go ahead and speed up time here.
Hornet 1-2. 2, airborne.
Okay, so now we're in our initial ascent. With steer 2, and I'm on initial climb out. Go ahead and fence in here. On the checklist, I've turned my lights off. This is the master. I click to turn off. Okay, formation lights, all lights are off. Master arms on. And I'm going to set my flaps to auto. If you fall below 250 knots and you have this switch in half or full, your flaps will deploy, and that might be not something you want to do if you are in the middle of a dogfight or something like that. Deploy your flaps. Alright, so I set the altitude to 20,000. So once I'm at 20,000, go ahead and level off. Almost there. So there's 20,000. I changed my autopilot mode to hold altitude. And I'm going to set my cruise RPM to 90%, which is right here, left and right. Rock the throttle back to 90%. Okay, so now we're on cruise. This is generally when I like to review the flight plan and responsibilities for the mission. And yeah. But I'll pick up on approach on the way back out. Okay, so I'm about 30 miles from the carrier. This is when you want to go ahead and request your approach. You can do vectors, or you can request autonomous approach, which is what we'll do now.
Hornet 1-1, inbound for landing.
And at this time, I also like to
Hornet 1, welcome back.
start my descent down
Hornet
to
1-2,
Angels 3.
2000, turn left heading 270.
Okay, so when I'm navigating to the carrier, I like to use TACAN. You want to make sure you're in TACAN mode. And you want to use the heading knob here. Place your marker directly over this TACAN arrow. And then make sure you're in heading. And now the aircraft will roll to that heading. You can see I can actually steer plane with this heading knob now. So what I'm telling it to do is roll to the specific heading and hold it. See how that works? Tab TACAN to enable the arrow. Make sure you're on the right channel. Okay.
Hornet
Altitude.
1-2, turn left
Altitude.
X-ray.
course 175, check approach speed.
TACAN on. You need attitude hold and heading. Let's see where we're at here. 18 miles from the carrier. Just starting my descent. Maybe see it from here. Yep. Here it is out there.
Hornet 1-2, final.
It's important to remember in single player the carrier will move into the wind. Or at least try to. So you want to call early. Because if you call that you're going to land late, you'll be lining up your approach and the ship will suddenly turn. So you want to call early at 30 miles. Okay, next on the checklist here is at 10 miles. We are going to make our first turn. Okay, we just passed 3,000, that's good. I'm going to pull up here. Okay, there's the carrier, we're at 10. So my first turn is going to be parallel with the ship and facing away. So it's going to be a left turn.
Good
10
evening,
miles.
Hornet 1-2, cleared for landing. Check gear down.
There's 10 miles. Make my left turn here. What I'm going to do is use that TACAN arrow, put the carrier at my beam, 90 degrees right. And once it's there, I'm going to level out and visually check, see where I'm at. Okay, looking good. Oh, I'm going to wait till the TACAN arrow is about my 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. See it here. So I want to give myself 10 miles to line up this approach. Probably good enough. Check over my shoulders. You can see we're getting there. If I do about a slow turn in, I can nail it. So I'm going to turn in. I'm just going to watch the TACAN arrow. I want it directly in front of me. And we'll see where we're at. Okay, if it's directly in front of me. See where we're at. Looking pretty good there. It's perfect. We got 10 miles here to line this up. I watch my speed. I'm at 400 knots. So I'm going to open the speed brake here. Get to a speed where I can deploy the landing gear, flaps, and the hook. Okay, so gear down, hook down, and flaps to full. And at 250 knots, the flaps will deflect, and the meatball will rise, just like it is now. Okay, so a couple things to remember when you're on final is one, you call that you're on final. You want to stay on speed. You want to keep the AOA, which is this indicator right here. You want to keep that meatball at 0. Just like that. Okay. You want to control glide slope, which is 3 degrees, which is kind of hard to see the line here. Let me move. This dotted line right here, that's your 3 degrees. So you want to go nose up. Keep that AOA pegged at 0. Not 0, but at yellow. You want to keep this yellow. And your meatball right around this line or a little bit higher is fine. One thing that I've seen that's worked pretty well is to move the meatball to the right of the landing area, just a little bit. So I kind of want to put that meatball right where the tower, the island is right there, right around this part. Alright, so I'm on speed here. I got a good AOA
Hornet 1-1, cleared for landing.
between 130 and 140 knots. Gears down, flaps are at full. Let's see, my rate of descent's a little too much here. Let's get that meatball up. You see my AOA is red, it's down, so I need to throttle down. Get it back on the meatball. There we go. Pretty good here. I'm on speed. Oh, was a nasty dip. Got some wind there. I think I'm a little low. A little off center too. Okay. Looks pretty good though. We're on speed. There we go. Speed is good. Okay, we're aiming for that middle wire. So landed pretty early there, but still that was pretty good. Had a good AOA the whole time. Good speed. Aiming a little shallow, so it's okay. Alright, so once we're in the cap, I'm going to put the hook up, use the spread, flaps auto, and once you give it some gas, the trap will release you. And just make our way to the parking area. Go cold iron, grab some chow. I'm hungry. So park it right here. Chocks in. Overall, that was okay. I'm a hard man to please, but I think I did alright there. I'll leave my info, man. If you guys interested in flying together or just training or learning, my door's always open, man. I love flying simulators. I love training people or learning from people. Whatever, man. So if you want to fly BMS, look me up, man. Always looking to get some hours in. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks again to Tuna and Sting for the model in the cockpit. I really enjoy it. Yeah. Catch you guys later.